Now we are going to model the head of the ring with all the lettering around the stone. We need to bring back some of our hidden parts. So we'll see what's hidden, and we will pick maybe that one right there. That should be the outer edge of the stone. Let's take a look at the other. That one. We verify the inner. We delete it. Now let's move on to our perspective and draw the profile right here on the side of the ring using straight lines from quadrant to the end. Zoom in, make sure you're in the right place right there between the two sides of the ring. Make sure it's straight, and now we go to the right view. Let's hide the ellipse so that we can see what we're drawing. And we'll continue to draw the profile. We'll go 0.25 towards the inside. We'll drop down 0.25. We'll go inside 0.5. And this will stop the curve right there. Now we need to offset this curve to 1.2 millimeters, which gives us enough room for the letters and some wall thickness behind them. We'll draw a straight line intersecting here. We'll do trim. We continue to draw the profile. So we will create a straight line from the end of this curve to the origin point, which happens to be the center of our ring. Then we will draw one more from here to the center. Notice I'm using snap to grid. Now I select these and trim. And now we'll join the whole profile into a single polyline. And we can now use rail revolve. We'll go to the command, right click here, which is rail revolve, profile, rail, and the axis down the green. And the head of the ring is created. Notice it's hollow on the inside. Now let's select the curves and delete. Let's join the two parts of the ring. And if we look at the command line, it says it joined it into a closed poly surface. This is now a solid shank, which can be, we can save this now as a blank shank for future projects. We're now ready to start placing the lettering and logos on the side and around the stone of the ring. Before we do that, we're going to export our shank so that we have a blank shank that we can work with later or also on future projects. So we'll save it. I'm going to use the desktop, blank shank, save. Now I can start working on this. The first thing we need to do is to separate the outer skin of the model around the stone, around the shank. So that surface on the side and the surface around the stone, we're going to extract those. So solid tools, extract surface. We'll click on each one of these surfaces. That's the wrong one. There we go. And we hit enter, and now we have those surfaces by themselves, and we can put away the rest of the ring. And we have those surfaces ready. I'm going to hide the side of the ring and work on around the stone first. So right around the stone, we're going to write Rhinoceros University. So we'll go to the curves from object, to the UV command, and we're going to create the UV curves. And there they are. This is our layout for that surface. So we'll move it out of the way. And now we need to put our lettering inside this rectangular shape. We'll use the text tool, the text object tool. And we will write whatever it is you're putting on the ring. Make sure to pick a font that will work as a solid. Be very careful with your fonts. Make sure while you're creating the text object that you use curves, not surfaces or solids. That's very important. And pay attention to also the size, the height. So we leave it in curves, and we click OK, and we place it inside the box. Now we have to decide how we want the lettering to end up on the surface. So there's something we need to do. See, the seam line on the surface is down here at the bottom. See how it's a darker line? I'm going to place that on the side instead of at the bottom. Because I want the university and Rhino to start and end there. So we'll go to the surface tools, and we'll use adjust close surface seam, and we'll bring it over to the side over here to the quadrant, and there it is. It's dividing it right here instead of at the bottom. And we'll do some adjustments to the lettering now using the scale 1 dimension. We can scale the letters so that they fit inside the box. No snapping. Analyze your spaces. Make sure that everything is within manufacturable specs. And now we can grab the lettering and take it back to the surface and see what it's going to look like. So we go to our curves from objects. We right click to apply the UV curves. And we select our surface. Now on the top view, while looking at it, I can see that it's slightly shifted to one side. And I want to adjust that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to readjust the seam to be a little higher so that the R will go higher and the S on the other side will go down, and it will kind of even out a little bit. So we go back to we undo, then we'll adjust the seam. The surface tools, adjust curve seam, and then we do the UV one more time. Right click, then click the surface, and as you can see, it's much more even now. Looks much better. Okay, now we're going to continue working on this. We are going to select the edge, which is after the UV. This is the box. We'll explode it, and we'll get rid of the two little connecting lines over here. That leaves us with just the two edges and the letters. What we'll do now is we're going to offset on surface. We'll select that one, pick that surface. Notice the arrow telling us the direction, which is correct in this case. And we're going to offset by 0.08, a very small distance. We just need to go inside the edge and delete the original. Now we go to the bottom and do the same process. So 0.8, enter and delete. There we go. Now we have the edge. We're just off the edge. This is so the Boolean will work later on. The Boolean will not match the edge, so we'll be able to do the Boolean difference later on. So right now we'll split the surface with all of our curves. So we grab all these curves, including the edge curves, and we split them with all the curves, and now we'll delete the outer rim from the surface and the surfaces of the letters. Go all the way around, and all the surfaces of the letters are getting deleted. Now let's go to the select menu and select curves and delete them. Now all we have left is the surfaces. We're going to select them all and go to the surface tools and use offset. We'll activate solid both sides, and we'll use 0.6 for the distance. We hit delete to get rid of the original, and there is our solid blank that is going to remove the cavity from the ring. So let's import the blank ring that we saved earlier. So file, import, go to the desktop where I saved it, and I'll find it. There it is. Here's the ring. Under the new shape that we created, we use Boolean difference. The ring, enter. The blank shape, enter. And the negative cavity is carved, and we have the shape. Now we'll go ahead and Boolean the small little insets from the letters. One more. I think we got them all. Enter. And we now have the letters around the stone sunk into the shape of the ring.